Today, I would love to talk about one of the most uh, wonderful things in the world, creative hangovers. I saw there's a great conversation happening inside of the community space from a few folks that delivered their signature workshops last week. There's the post you can scroll down. So Anne LaFleur talked about, I did my dry run yesterday. 18 people registered, 7 attended. It was a fine first go, and I was glad to have done it. She goes on to say a bunch of other stuff about the actual experience, but um, where is it? But in the moment, I'm experiencing a bit of a vulnerability hangover. And then Maria went on to add to it and said how exhausted she felt after her first delivery. And then Arthur chimed in and said he felt the same thing as like he just felt like just a total train wreck after doing his first delivery. And I just want to say uh, that's totally valid. We just spent three and a half months climbing this mountain. If you look back at all of the action steps, all of the time, all of the energy, all of the stress, all of the anticipation, the nervousness, the anxiety, the tech headaches, the pains in the ass, the inspiration, you add that all up, I can guarantee everybody did at least 100 hours of actual work to get their signature workshop to the point where you actually delivered it to your audience for the first time. And so if that is the case and you delivered it and the next day you just felt exhausted, yeah, this is a hangover. It's like a creative orgasm. You just want to go to sleep when you're done. It's like that was it. You just did the thing and now you're pooped. And I just want to say, like, coming into holiday time here in December for the first time in years where I don't feel burnt out going into holidays. I feel like more energized than I started the year. I feel like last year I was almost dead when I got past the finish line. This year I feel like I've got so much energy. So I'm excited for the holidays because instead of like having to be in recoup mode, I'm in let's go play. Um, but the idea of feeling exhausted when you complete a launch or you launch your signature workshop or you do a big project, it's important to honor that exhaustion and not try to push through it. Give yourself a few days, put it down, come back to it. But I just want to heed a warning of don't give it too much space. You just built a shitload of creative momentum. You have everything now at your back. You got to the top of the mountain and now the hard work is done. And you don't want to lose all the momentum that is now in your sails to help you fly forward with this thing. So if you have that creative hangover, take a few days, take up to a week, but don't take much longer because you need to keep moving the thing forward. And I love what you just said here, Tara. Enjoy the view. Exactly. It's like while you're in the exhaustion, reflect. What did I learn? What steps did I take? Do I feel proud of myself? Do I feel proud of what I did? What does the future look like now that I have this really key part of my business in place? What does my future look like? What was my marketing plan before I started this experience? What is my marketing plan now? And how does it feel to have something that's repeatable, duplicatable that I can just keep running with for the next year, 2 years, 3 years, etc.? So, yeah, while you're in the hangover stage, practice the gratitude, practice the self-reflection, and then you just got to get back to work and keep working on the systems that you've been creating. Go back to your slide deck, review everything, see what else you got to do. And I saw in the comments a couple people have just been like, um, I thought I was done. I didn't realize I'd still have so much work to do after doing their first iteration. And it's like, yeah, welcome to the creative quest that we're on. That is the creative process. That is the journey, and this is not about the destination. And as long as we stay engaged with the muse, engaged with the creative process, and we just keep improving, time's gonna fly by. Another year is gonna zip by in the blink of an eye. And so just stay with it. Stay with it. Don't let it wiggle out. Don't let resistance or exhaustion overcome you with overwhelm, just keep with the process and eventually you'll be in a completely different place than you are right now and feel completely different about it. I had an experience yesterday with my son because he's my partner. So there's father-son dynamics. There's also business partnership dynamics. There's also creative dynamics of co-writing stories. And so we're working on this beast of a story that we've worked on for 2 years called Adventure Buddies, where it's going to be a graphic novel. It's going to be about a 90 to 100-minute audio story that Soren and I wrote where we get sucked into a gnome door portal into the magic realm where all the mystical, magical creatures from all time have disappeared to because humanity's taken over their territory. And so we have to go on a quest with a gnome named Nomi to retrieve the magic back to the human realm. So that's kind of the premise of the story. It's really epic, very funny. It'll be a graphic novel, audio story, and then hopefully a movie one day or movie series. It's going to be a book, 7 series of books. So yesterday we've done about an hour's worth of recording in the studio, and he gets an electric drum kit when he's done. He's the narrator of the story. So imagine an 8-year-old having to narrate a feature-length audio story. It's a lot of pressure. And it was by design. We collaborated and designed that intentionally together, but now he's in it and it's hard work. He's got to show up to the microphone and he's got to put in the effort. And so we had an experience yesterday where he was ready to do it because he wants to earn his drum kit. Um, and he was like in tears and I don't want to do this anymore. I'm like, you don't have to do this. We could just like set this down. We could come back to it another time. You could, we could wait and just put this on a shelf until you feel like you're at an age where you're ready to take on a project this big. It's entirely up to you. We don't have to do it. And this is the same for everybody with the projects you're doing and the overwhelm your feelings. You don't have to do it. You're the only one to make you do it. And I was like, but if we do wait and we come back to it at a later date, we're gonna have to re-record everything because you're gonna have a different voice. You're gonna hit puberty, and all of a sudden, you're gonna have the first half of the story by an 8-year-old, and the second half is gonna be a crackly voiced teenager. And he starts laughing. I'm like, and then you'll probably quit at that point too, and you might be 40 years old when you pick it up again. And then all of a sudden, it's an adult narrating the third part of the story, and he's like, yeah. And then I'll probably quit again. And then I'll be a really old man when I finish the narration. I was like, I don't know if that's gonna work. We're gonna have to rewrite the whole story to fit that narrative. So I got him laughing. And it came down to he wanted to do it, but he didn't want to do it. And he was faced with an enormous amount of resistance, which is a real thing when it comes to, it's like I call it a lion circling the prey. And it's like the resistance is the lion circling. And then there becomes a moment where you commit and you strike or you do the thing that you're resisting. And in that moment, he could feel the choice of like, I could just not do it and feel shitty about myself the rest of the day and know that I have to come back to this, or I could do it and the reward is feeling really proud of myself when I'm done, that I managed to persevere. And that was the choice he made. And it was really cool to witness his internal process and for him to come to the realization that it was his choice. It was in his court. There was no pressure for him to do the thing. And I think it's a great lesson for all of us, is that when we feel that resistance, when we catch ourselves procrastinating, scrolling the wall, looking at things, checking our emails, that's all resistance showing up. It's our way of avoiding the damn thing we know we need to do that we're going to feel really good about that is moving us in the direction we want to go. And so the sooner we can just catch ourselves in the resistance, talk to the resistance, let the resistance know there is a way out. You don't have to do this thing, but I have a feeling you really want to do this thing. And then come to the conclusion and just go for it because so much time is just pittered away in that futile battle with resistance. And we don't have to give all of our power away to it. We don't need to give all of our time to procrastination. We can just get to work and we can do the thing and then have more free time at the end of the day to do the things that we ultimately really want to be doing and to get that sweet little reward of feeling proud of what we just did and what we overcame to get to where we are. So that's my story today. is that the hangovers are real, the resistance is real, but we don't have to give all our power away to it. Recover, reflect on the good things, and then keep moving on. And don't let too much time pass when you get that hangover. Just get back to work, even if it's just a little bit, plug away a tiny bit, get back to work, keep doing the thing, because by keep doing the thing, you get to that top of the mountain quicker. The next vista is waiting for you. All right, that's my motivational speech for today.